Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Um, this is, I believe, part one. Yes, this is part one. Sorry, had a brain moment. This is part one of my series, Straying Away from God. Like I said, I wanted to do this series because this is something that I've done and I've experienced, and I wanted to share my experience and bring the Bible into play on why we do it, how can we come back, stuff like that. So this is part one. We're gonna go into the Bible. We're gonna go to Jonah chapter 1, verse 1. All right, and I do not know how to say some of these Jewish names. So please don't come at me. Please, I'm fighting for my life over here. Every time I read the Bible, I'm fighting for my life. And you guys gotta bear with me because I don't know what this is. I don't know some of these names. All right. I just wanted to get that out the way before anybody judge me, before anybody do anything. And if you hear the wind, it's been raining where I'm at, and it's very windy, so I'm gonna just let that be. But all right, so the word of the Lord, this is verse 1, chapter 1 of Jonah, and it says, the word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai, and he said, get up, go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because their evil has come up before me. Jonah got up to flee to Tarshish from the Lord's presence. He went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. He paid the fare and went down into it to go with them to Tarshish from the Lord's presence. Off the bat, this man ain't counseled with God about what God has gave him. And I think we always do that with God, is when he gives us something. First of all, God doesn't need to give you a reason on why he said what he said. That's that's number one. He never needs to give a reason. He could have just said, go preach to the city that I gave you. And that was it. He did not need to give a reason. But he gave a reason was because there was evil in that city and it was starting to come up. And that's why he said, go preach. But oftentimes we think that we need an explanation from God, and you're not always going to get that from God. And that can be frustrating when he's asking you to trust him, but don't always expect an explanation, because there's not always going to be an explanation. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You got to do what the Lord says, and you kind of just need to deal with it and trust and believe him, because he does have good plans for you. That's the thing. He does have good intentions and good plans. And so that's why we need to follow him and trust him, because he knows what he's doing. He knows the end result. If you follow him, what will happen and the blessings he's going to give you, and etc. So, but Jonah didn't do that. He said, this man said, I'm going to get a boat ticket. I'm going to get a ticket to another country or another city that was not on the list. And this is important, why this other city, why it's important. It's going to be important later on, but you booked a ticket to a country or to a city you're not supposed to be in. That's interesting. I don't know why he would do that when he's supposed to go to Nineveh, but okay. Yeah, that man, he was, I don't know, upstairs wasn't right. All right. And then this is verse 4. But the Lord threw a great wind onto the sea, and such a great storm arose on the sea that the ship threatened to break apart. The sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his God. They threw the ship's cargo into the sea to lighten the load. Meanwhile, Jonah had gone down to the lowest part of the vessel and had stretched out and fallen into a deep sleep. So I don't even know how you could sleep in a storm. Like, for me personally, I can't. It's hard for me to sleep through thunderstorms. For me, it's kind of hard. So I don't understand how this man went to the bottom part of the ship and was in his Z's. Okay, I am so sorry. My video had cut off for some reason. It always says full storage or whatever. But I'm sorry about that. Now back here it says, I don't even know how this man could go to sleep in a storm like this, and everybody else is like freaking out. What this like lets me know is like Jonah was comfortable being in a uncomfortable situation, and not in a good way. There was a whole storm that could probably take out that whole ship, and he's down there sleeping. And we do that too. As I feel like as Christians, like, we're comfortable in sinning, we're comfortable in doing whatever we want to do. Like, there's no conviction, there's no anything. We're just comfortable doing what we want to do. And that's not right. No. Like, we cannot be comfortable. Get uncomfortable, okay? Be uncomfortable. Like, come on now. All right. And then starting in verse 4, but the Lord threw, oh, sorry, I read that part. Sorry. Verse 5, the sailors were, no, we already read that part. Yep, okay, sorry again. We're at verse 6. The captain approached him and said, what are you doing sound asleep? Get up and call to your God. Maybe this God will consider us and we won't perish. So you have other people telling you to pray to your God, pray to Jesus Christ, when you're not doing it. And oftentimes there's a lot of people, when you go out and sin and you do things that you're not supposed to do, there'll be people looking at you like, aren't you a Christian? Like, you shouldn't be here. Like, we do not belong in every single space. Like, I'm sorry to tell you that, but being a Christian, you're not going to fit in at every single place. You're not going to fit in at the bar, and you're not going to fit in at the club, and you're not going to fit into all these places, these worldly places. So stop trying to. That's the thing. Stop trying to fit in with everybody else. You have to be the standard. You have to set apart from all these people. You cannot do what they're doing. Like, come on, right? Come on. You can't do that. Like, I don't have to tell you that. You should know better. Get it together. Verse 7. Come on. The sailors said to each other, let's cast lots, then we'll know who is to blame for this trouble we're in. So they cast lots, and the lot singled out Jonah. So people are already gonna know you're a Christian just by looking at you and your demeanor. You don't even have to say anything. You will be singled out. When you become a Christian, you are automatic. When you give your life to the Lord, you are singled out. And that's something I figured out when I did my straying away from God, is being singled out. And I didn't like that. But it's really for a good reason. You don't want to be a part of the world. You don't want to do what they do. So yes, you do need to be singled out. It's really for your own protection, really. If you think about it, it's for your own protection, and just the fact that you weren't going to fit in anyways because you're trying to live for God and they're not. So why try to be in that group when you know that you're trying to live for God? It's as simple as that. Verse 8. Then they said to him, "Tell us who is to blame for this trouble we're in. What is your business, and where are you from? And what is your country, and what people are you from?" So now they're questioning this man because they know this man doesn't belong. Number three, they were from two different countries. This is why Jonah should never been on this boat, because these people were into a whole different god. They're from a whole different country. They're doing their own thing. And Jonah should have went to Nineveh with people who were like-minded like him, Christians, and probably from the same country and going for the same thing. And so you see here, they're questioning this man, like, I have my notes here, questioning this man, like, you're not supposed to be here. Like, there was something I wanted to say. What was it? No, I already said it. You have people questioning you on why you're at this certain place and why you're doing the thing, because you're not supposed to do it. That's, if you have non-believers telling you that you're not supposed to do something, you are off. No non-believer should tell you that you are off and that you that you're not supposed to, like, they should never tell you that. Now, what's different from a Christian telling another Christian, doesn't matter if they know each other or not. If I'm a Christian and I'm telling you that, hey, like, you're off, that's different. When you have somebody who is not a believer of God and they're telling you, like, look, I know I'm doing wrong, but you definitely don't need to be being here because what you're doing is wrong, you're way off. Like, nobody should have to tell you that. No non-believer should have to tell you that. Just letting you know, person to person, nobody should ever have to tell you that. You should not be way off like that. All right, and verse 9. He answered them, "I'm a Hebrew. I worship the Lord, the God of the heavens, who made the sea and dried the land." So here's him. Here's like, he's over explaining himself. He didn't have to say all that. He could have said, "My name Jonah. I guess I went on the wrong boat," something like that. And we always as people, you don't have to be a Christian. As people, we like to over explain ourselves. We do it at job interviews. We do it when we meet people. We do it when we make a mistake, especially when we make a mistake. We say, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My hand, my leg, my eyes, my hair." Like, chill out. Literally. That's people pleasing as well, which is something that I struggle with myself. It's like people pleasing and over explaining yourself. It comes from like a background of fear a little bit. And I say that because you're fearful of what people will think of you. And you get so fearful that you're just spitting out anything. Like, you're accepting anything. So like, as a people pleaser, you're just accepting whatever people say. You're just, "Oh, do you want to do this? Okay. Yeah. Yes." Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to accept everything that people say to you. You don't need to over explain yourself. Like, we got to cut that out in 2025. And I'm doing that too, because there's no way I'm going to sit here and over explain myself. And there's some cases that you do have to explain yourself. Like, maybe at a job interview, you might have to explain yourself. I mean, there's been times where I definitely went overboard with explaining myself, and it still didn't get me the job. So, you use that at your own, what's the word? Use it at your own discretion. Like, sometimes you might need to over explain, sometimes you might not to. But the point is, as people, we always over explain and we always overdo things. Okay, this is like the second time my video has went out. So I will come back with the part 2, and we might finish it in the part 2. We left off on verse 11. So we will come back and we will finish this off. I will see you in the next part. Remember what I told you, and peace out.